everybody, my name is Wichit and I aspire to be the most generic art channel that will now provide answers to your deepest and darkest questions. This is the question that has been asked by every artist in every art. This is art history in the making. We're discovering the reason why so many artists only draw women. We'll be going into 4 theories today, people, so stay tuned. And to be an extra big hypocrite, on screen you will be seeing me draw 3 women. The 4th one didn't get recorded because it freaking crashed, LMAO. Otherwise, I'm just gonna ask you to do the dankest move ever and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that share button, and so you can share the freaking word about the legendary research that will go on in this video. Did I do the cringy self-promotion correctly? I'm a real YouTuber now. Okay, let's start off with the first theory. The waifu theory. Now, the waifu theory comes from the best girl war that is currently always raging whenever there is a new top girl. Now, obviously, if an artist catches wind of best girl, they're gonna draw the lovely fan arts of best girl. And when fan art happens, boom, you have an elevated girl that is standing on a platform and is rated queen among all. She knows the way. She is the queen, okay? Now, why doesn't a husbando get put on that pedestal? Why is it always waifus and best girls that get all those commissions, get all that fan art, get all that artist alley credit? Yes, we have our husbandos and we have our lovely K-pop fandom, but if you take a look at it overall, a lot of the times it is the waifus that get pushed to the top. We've got KDA, we got Bowsette in the most recent explosion of waifu culture. So if we take a look at the sciencey aspects of it, our first little experiment was using Google Trends. You throw husbando into Google Trends as a search term. You throw waifu into Google Trends as a search term. Boom, pow, you get the results. And you'll see that the word waifu is way more commonly searched than the word husbando, which is supposed to be the equal terminology for a male waifu. And with that explosion and the more publicity those characters get, the bigger they become, and the more likely those artist alleys are gonna make more fan art of them and sell them there. There's more commissions to go around. Can you put my character next to Bowsette, please? Like, there's a lot of that. The next thing we're gonna go through is our experiment with Sakimi-chan. Now, Sakimi-chan disappeared somehow, and her whole Instagram just went poof! And then I look like a day later on my phone, and she's back again. So I cracked out my very fancy, very expensive, over $100 calculator that I only used for 2 classes in high school. And I decided to make it have its most important job ever, and that is to calculate the mean of Sakimi-chan's posts, whether or not they had only a man or only a woman. So no couples posts. So with this in mind, I took quite a few of her posts and put them into lists. List 1 was women, list 2 was men. If you haven't taken a prob or stats class or any high school math class, or it's been a while since you've been out of the math facility of the public school system, a mean is the value attained by dividing the sum of multiple quantities by their number. So it's the average. So the mean of likes, by the way, the number we're using is the amount of likes per photo. The mean of women is 65,928.643. Now the standard deviation, basically how far it distance and shifts. So the standard deviation is 18,343. So depending on the post, this is just showing you like the influx. You can pause the video now and take your guesses in the comments. Will the men be larger in number or will it be smaller in number? Take your guesses now! Well, if you commented down below, like I politely asked you to in a very yelling and comical voice, the answer is, it was lower. So the mean for men is 58,916.786. The standard deviation was lower, so there is more of a closer in number, so there's less of a range. So that was 10,160.1. So what does this mean? The mean is the most important number here, just to let you know. Like the standard deviation, it just shows you like the deviation of it. But you know what? We're focusing on our good old-fashioned mean, our mean girls right here. Okay, Sakimi-chan, if she were to post a picture of a beautiful waifu, it is 1.12 times greater in likes than if she were to post a man. Okay, but if you want an exact number in the mean, not just these whack percentages, the exact number, if you were to subtract them, is 7,011. That's not a massive change in numbers. I mean, yes, to some people, getting 7,000 more likes on a post is obviously going to be way better, but at Sakimi-chan's size, which is why I picked her, she draws men and women both in seductive ways, and her style doesn't variate, so it's not like people are like, oh, I don't like how edgy her style is. Everything she does is very consistent, and it's all in the same nature. It's all from games, anime. You'll rarely see her post an OC, and she also rarely uses hashtags. She does use hashtags. If you're putting irrelevant hashtags like I do, because I'm trying to get Instagram famous over here. I kid, I'm not. But it just makes it more of a neutral and easy way to conduct the research. Obviously, is this a foolproof way of research? No. However, you should note that when looking at her top 9, we're gonna go down the list of the genders in her top 9. 3 men out of the 9 posts were men, as I just said that because I'm dumb. But that means that 6 out of the 9 are women. But if you were to take her top 9 and condense it into a top 5, the first top post is a man, the second is a woman, the third is a man, and then 4 and 5 are women. So you're still more likely, if you draw women, to get more likes. And those are just overall, it seems more consistently that if you were to draw women, you're going to get more likes. But now, with this information, who is the target market when it comes to this? Well, that's part of the next theory. The big gay theory. Now, this theory is the spreading of the apparent homosexual agenda. Now, all of this data is taken from the US because America's top consumerism and because it's a little hard to get worldwide data without having to do a lot of cross-comparing. So we need a smaller pool so I can at least get some information and just see what the hell is going on. Because I'm curious. Because when you add it all up, does it mean that there are more people who are more likely to go after or see sexual attraction in a woman? Or are there more people in the world that see sexual attraction in men? Now, this is where it comes down in correlation to the waifu theory of, well, if people like all these waifus, does that mean they're attracted to them? And that is why you're more likely to attract either a larger audience or more likes by drawing women. So this is a survey. It's a national survey of family growth. This part of the survey is the 18 plus section. This was taken from 2002 to 2013. However, we're using the 2013 section, and I've thrown up a pie chart on screen of the extra fun details so you can see a visual representation of what I'm going through. In one section, we have people who would be interested in seeing women. Now, a side note, I've included bisexuals in both the yes, I would buy into women, and the no, I would buy into men section, because remember, they're split down the half. They're interested in both parties. So to keep it as equal as possible, I've included them in both. So for our pro buying into the waifu theory, we have, there's just a slight increase. It's so tiny that it's still basically 50-50. So sadly, the big gay theory does not hold up any merit, but it was an interesting quick research. Next theory! The first XD theory. Now, I had to do another experiment because I'm such a research fanatic. I took to my Instagram and I asked, if you draw actively, do you tend to draw women? Why or why not? Now, I will display on screen some of the responses, but a lot of the general response was, it tended to be the first thing they learned to draw, because I've asked people, and they say, oh, all artists normally draw women because it's easy. It's just, it's just easy. And so looking into that theory, How many artists are actually women? Prove that the first thing you draw is something that's closely related to yourself. So obviously a woman is going to be more comfortable and more able to draw women because they understand the anatomy more because they are the anatomy. So we took 2 university surveys, and a lot of these surveys are trying to compare women who are actually studying compared to like wage gap stuff, but I don't know enough about that to get into that, but that's just where a lot of these like surveys come from. They're like, but we're here to dissect information and take that differently. So women studying art at a university level is about 60 to 75%. So that's a lot larger than 50. That means there are a lot of women who are studying art. That means that yes, that kind of confirms the theory of why maybe a larger majority of people would draw women, because that's what they're comfortable with and that's what they first learn. That's what they see most often. However, where does that leave our male friends in this? Why would they draw such a foreign thing? Now, if you haven't already solved the mystery of my sarcasm in that statement, if you kind of already have an idea just using common sense, I'll supply a lovely display of someone giving their answer. Now, obviously, this is not representing all male artists. However, just understand, it's someone who's spoken their opinion that happens to fit the criteria of a male artist who draws women more than men. That's just their answer. Does that mean it represents everybody? Again, no. So don't get your panties into a twist, ladies.
Disclaimer, none of these viewpoints are from a sexist POV just 'cause I'm a guy. I'll try my best to keep a neutral ground on this. First off, I think women are friggin' beautiful creatures. Some aren't that fortunate, but you know what I mean. That goes both ways. There are some sexy dudes out there too, but not every dude can be Brad Pitt, just saying. It's just that the threshold for male sexiness is much lower than the threshold for lady sexiness. They're elegant, mainly walking pieces of art. They stimulate our minds by just the off chance of seeing them, even if you're not focusing on them. A straight female will even be smitten with the particular shoes another lady is wearing or really appreciate another's figure. Hiding that in my art, why would I? If someone's an appreciator of something, it'll show, and that's how I show it, of course.
Now, these are all mindsets, philosophies, human thinking ways of using theory. What about actual art technicality? Is there something that shows in character design or something from a fundamentalist standpoint that you would draw women over men or prefer to draw women over men, not from a psychological standpoint or a preference standpoint, but from an actual technical dissection standpoint? Which brings us to our next theory, the shapes theory. This is kind of the most boring theory because, technical character design and art, there's no drama or tea in this theory. It's all just, I learned this from Psychoriacent, so I'll throw up a screenshot of his video, which is using shapes to make character designs. Now, he throws up the basic circle, the square, and the triangles. And so he also lists reasons of the body language of the shapes. So we bring us to the circle and curves. Now, what are curves and circles closely related to? It's whammon. Men are more easy to sculpt from squares, rectangles, straight lines. That's just how they're built. They're built with a more geometric build. There's more sharp angles. There's just more structure. It's more of the square than the curves. The women are very flowing, very curvy. And if you also take a look at the characteristics of circles and curves, they're described to be cute, friendly, nice, feminine. And to be honest, besides the feminine quality, which can definitely be subjective to people, but being cute, being nice, being friendly, those are very sought after qualities in anything, whether it be a person, a character design. You want to feel invited. You want to feel friendly. That's why people buy cats and dogs. So if that is the technical appeal of a circle and a curve, perhaps then if you're building your characters from circles and curves, they're more likely to turn out feminine. They turn into women because they've got curves, they got circles. And that's why you might end up drawing women if you use circles and curves. It's the most basic theory. It's just like, it's the most simple one, but it's the most technical, and obviously if you draw circles and curves, it may turn out to be a man, but from a fundamental look at it, it's more likely to be a woman unless you add a lot more details, and you do add squares and straights and whatnot. Now, these 4 theories, ladies and gentlemen, are the 4 theories that I have found in a couple days of research and thinking about this topic. Obviously, there are tons more theories, but there's only one truth. What is the answer if you actually go and ask the artist that you are asking this question about? Instead of theorizing, you just go and ask them? Well, why do you do it? Well, why? And here's the truth. Because they chose to. Like, it's that simple. They can. Whether or not it had one of these motives behind it, they just chose to draw women. I mean, if you ask me, if you look at my channel, I've probably only drawn men once or twice before. And you know what? That's fine. You're welcome to draw whatever you want. If you like drawing women, you like drawing women. If you like drawing men, you like drawing men. If you do draw women, there's no penalty in life. You may get called out and say, well, you're taking the easy route. Try learning something different, which there is some merit to that off-chanted screaming from the peanut gallery. But you know what? Art, unless it's your job, you don't really have to apply yourself to that. If you like drawing women and just drawing cute things, then just live your life. You know you can draw women. But if you're looking to increase your knowledge, possibly going into the industry, improving yourself, and making an effort to draw and make better subjects, then obviously, yes, you're gonna have to take that step out of your comfort zone and draw men, draw monsters, draw animals, draw dogs, draw landscapes. You don't have to draw just one thing. You can draw whatever you want. But when it comes down to this argument, it's just, they chose to. And if it's gonna bother you that much, then either you got 2 options. You can find another artist, or in fact become an artist yourself and, you know what, just draw men and women and show them all off and become the next Leonardo DiCaprio da Vinci hybrid. Yes. That concludes today's scientific and mathematical research. I conclude today. Goodbye, everybody. I'm tired. This video is complicated. Bye-bye.